back to the Hair Oracle. I am here with the legendary lock star who has traveled all over the globe.
Fresh in from Wakanda.
Just in from Wakanda. Okay. Mr. Terry Baptise.
Oh my God.
Hi, Terry.
Hey, thank you for having me on your show, Charlotte. Congratulations in advance for everything that you're doing. I'm honored to be one of your first guests on the show.
Yes, you know I wasn't going to do it without you. You do know that, right?
Okay.
You do know
Folks
that.
had to get baptized.
Okay. And then, can you tell us what you're doing right now?
What I did on Z was a custom color. She has a highlight part in the front of her head, and the rest of her hair is her natural tone.
Okay.
And so on this part here, we used Go Well Top Sheet Color. I used a 7RR and a 6RR with 20 volume developer to deposit color. In the back, she has an undercut that our last guest, Peter Barber, gave her a clean line. So we got P up underneath. Shout out to P. But this is my work. You know, this is what I do. I am a loctician who specializes in custom color and cuts. We have a groom, so what I'm doing is just doing a little light pin curl on the color part. So when she comes from under the dryer, it'll have a little wispy effect around her face. You know, because the thing about it is, and this is so ironic that I'm doing this, because the whole purpose of me coming on your show today was to talk about some of the internet myths about styling locks. And one of the biggest myths that I have seen that has offended my soul.
He said, so we have some total offense there.
Total offense, where people are taking locks and flat ironing them with a curling iron.
I have a question. The Hair Oracle has a question. So, I'm going to play the devil's advocate for just a second.
Okay.
Now, maybe it smooths some of the fibers out.
No.
Maybe it'll curl it. Right, wrong. So, my question is, what do you believe is happening after they flat iron it?
Nothing.
So that's what I would call a myth dispelled.
Yeah, it's a waste of time. It's a chick I'm doing it on YouTube. She goes through her whole head and sections it and flat irons it, and when at the end it looks just like it did at the beginning. And she has people commenting about, I do that once a week to my hair. I think people who wear Afrocentric hair needs to realize that Afrocentric hair does not go by the same beauty standards as European hair textures.
Oh, that's a good one. That's
our hair will not always lay flat like European hair or pressed hair or permed hair. If you're wearing your hair Afrocentric, you're gonna have texture. So the fact that you're trying to flat iron your locks is just the most foolish shit. I just think that's dumb as hell. Now, if you want some curl or texture in your hair, I would recommend that you, cause she was trying to take the flat iron and was trying to whip it around and give a feather effect with it, try to turn it, whip it around, and it did nothing. What I would recommend to do, if you want curl or texture in locks, you either need to ride, roll it up, or do what I'm doing here and pin curling it.
Okay.
Pin curling it while it's wet and let it dry. And even if you don't do it while it's wet, like if your hair is already done, you know, maybe mist it lightly, put a little holding spray on it, and let it set for a day or two. I mean, not a day or two, but a couple of hours.
Okay.
But this is the healthiest way to do that. I think, you know, don't put any direct heat on locks.
That's what I want to know. So, with the locks, because the hair is all together and it's kind of enmeshed together, does it create weakness in the lock by putting the heat on it?
It ain't doing shit, because the lock is strong.
It's not doing nothing. The lock is locked. The lock is locked, and that's it. End of story. Nothing. So that's part of one of the reasons why we're doing this show.
Well, I think a lot of times too, Charlotte, when people transition out of textures of hair, they need to transition out of mindsets too.
That's what I was about to say. One of the reasons why we're doing this show is because people believe what they believe until they hear the truth.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't even want to believe the truth when they hear it. So the hair oracle is going to be dispelling all of the myths, bringing you the truth, and it's up to you to accept it or reject it. I say that all the time. But absolutely, on our social media sites,
Yes.
everything that you hear and see on there is not true because it's not coming from a professional. Now, one thing that I have always done is to say that the professional segment left out the natural people and the natural customers. So they took to coming up with their own remedies, their own information.
Yes.
They created an entire language.
Yes.
I have in this book, Mastering Textures and Curl Patterns.
Okay.
I ended up having to do a glossary. The word loctician's in there. Maybe should I put your name by it? and simply because it was so much information that they didn't know.
Right.
And so here as professionals,
Yes.
what would you say to people that only use social media university to get their information?
I think if that is your only resource for information, because a lot of 75% of the information is useless to you. You know, 25%. There's some people out there that's about it.
Now, it's some people that about it.
But then what I was ready to say, out that 75%, I'm not saying 75% is wrong. I'm saying that of that 75%, the reason why that doesn't work for you is because you're watching a video of someone who does not have your hair texture,
Yes, amen.
your type,
amen,
or your look. If you got thick, coarse hair, why would you
listen to someone with fine, coily hair? Right.
And think that your hair is going to have the same results? It's not going to happen.
So
I think that having getting advice from just naturalists is good, but I do not think that the advice of someone who is not a licensed professional or someone who doesn't do this all day every day, I don't think your advice should supersede ours. I think your advice should endorse ours. And that's another thing too I like to talk about with these bloggers, because the same thing was going on in the hair industry between stylists, where sometimes the relaxed stylists and the natural stylists would seem like we'd be at odds with each other, and we all need to work together, because I think there's some transitioning things that if everyone worked together would be a little smoother. I'm anti-transition, by the way, but that's
well, you're a big chopper.
Yeah, I'm a big chopper. I'm like, cut this shit. I mean, cut that stuff. I'm sorry. But I think that, and I welcome this to any bloggers who are watching, before you post some information, even though it's logical, it may sound, run that by a licensed professional.
Yeah, research it.
Yeah, run that by a licensed professional.
Absolutely, but that was a good point you made about the natural hair, non-natural hair beef. So it got so crazy when I was out teaching about natural hair that I had to categorize natural. Because I had my relaxer free. I wish you would tell her she wasn't natural because she decides to straighten her hair. So I had my relaxer free. I have my chemical free. She won't relax or color, but she still may utilize some heat. Then I call them my trees and berries. I call them my organics. They don't use heat, they don't use color, and they don't use any relaxer at all. So I was having them upset with one another. For you to say, it took me 2 years to transition. Transitioning is a big deal because it's a long, lengthy process. Women are so caught up in length. And we're caught up in the health of the hair. So even if you only got this much right here, I'd rather it be healthy than scraggly.
I'd rather deal with 2 inches of healthy hair than to deal with 8 inches of hair and 3 of it is tattered. And I gotta try to make that look like something.
And so but you know what, that's kind of the beauty. That's how I got into relaxing more and transitioning, because when I was
it's a lifestyle, it's a culture.
It really, really is. It really is.
It's a culture.
And they are tortured in that transitional period. It really is like, I kind of equate it to like when you are cultivating locks.
Yeah.
So they're kind of cultivating their natural hair, and but they're just not comfortable enough to just chop it off.
Yeah.
I know your chair only chops. My chair
And
is...
you want to know why? Can I share that?
Yeah, please.
The reason why you have to be natural when you sit in my chair, because this is the thing. If I am cutting all of the chemically treated hair off your hair, you should be ready for this. We've talked about this in the consultation. We know what we're doing. And I sit you down in my chair and I make that first chop and you go,
oh, did they slide down? Not the down slide.
like you have just lost your soul.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, I'm an energy person. Most natural people, lacticians, are energy-based people.
Yes.
That's exhausting. I'd rather you take that to the barber. I'd rather you get a barber to business. And between your ride from the barbershop to me, you done got all that out your system and you ready.
So with mine, the difference is that mine are just coming out of relaxer.
Yeah.
They have been relaxer programmed that their hair should lay like this. So even gradually, it's hard for them to fathom removing all of the hair, even if it's old, even if it's dead, even if it doesn't work for them, even if it's dysfunctional. They would much rather, we'll do it later, they would much rather be on everything. They would much rather let it grow out than cut it off.
Yeah.
Much rather. So I think so. But one of the other things that drives me.
Do you?
What? I was gonna probably say it. That drives me nuts.
No. Okay. So the difference between the big chop and the transitioning stage. Do you think that their hair would grow faster if they did the big chop, or do you think that it's the same amount of growth or the same with them doing the transitioning, from your personal professional opinion?
I always say, do you want to prolong it or speed it up? But the way the hair grows is how the hair is going to grow.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, is it going to be traumatizing for you every week? Because I'm going to have to trim it every week for it to look the way that it needs to look.
Yes.
So the more that you're able to cut, it does speed up the transitioning process.
Okay.
Does it grow faster from the scalp? I don't believe it does. However, there is a period that you're going to have that's almost a year called scab hair that I've discovered because your follicles are damaged. The hair that's growing out of them is not going to be at its 100% healthiest for at least 6 months.
Yes.
And so during that time, I let them kind of play 6 months to 12 months. I mapped out in my book a journey from relaxed to natural.
Okay, tell me more about this book, girl.
So this was the tool. This was the tool that I traveled and taught stylists with.
Okay.
I was so astonished
Is
that
it available online?
it is not available online because I'm transitioning the book for the consumer. Remember, this was the stylist edition.
Okay.
We have, and I don't want to say the name because people say your name and do all that stuff. But coming soon.
Open other salons and stuff. And
everything.
do your logo.
Everything.
Take your client base. And
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
yes.
All of that.
Hide your business.
Okay. So when you allow them, because mine is a mental process as well.
Yes.
To get them to being used to transitioning, to having natural hair, explain them it's not gonna lay down all the time, like you said.
Yeah.
You're gonna have some texture on the edges.
Yeah.
I have an edge control phobia.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of everybody
ain't got baby hairs.
I was gonna say, dear America,
If you grown,
you're not baby hairing. So, my pet peeve is baby hair. If you are not a baby, you do not have baby hair.
Now you can.
I was gonna say you can have the little fine wispies here naturally that lay, but when you have sculpted out the toothbrush. Now we used to do that in the 80s. So everything just kind of comes full circle.
The free gel is back.
I want to ask you you a question?
Sure.
Do you use edge control for anything?
No. And that's only because I believe in allowing our hair to naturally relax.
Yeah.
You know, there's some people, I don't use any hard products on locks. You know, I don't use any, there's a brown gel that people like to use on locks. And some consumers like that because it has the hold that they want. And then once again, going back to when you got your hair curled before they went natural, they want the curl set to last. So they want that hold, but that hold is not natural. Like I just got my hair done today, so you see all of my scalp. In about 2 or 3 weeks, my scalp is gonna raise up. You know, I'm gonna have a little afro underneath. I embrace that. I feel like we as a people need to feel that we look good if we are in our natural state or if we're manicured. A lot of times we think we're under the misconception that being manicured, the whole term dread has been a misconception.
I believe that. I understand that.
Misconception. People said that dreads came from Europeans going to overseas and seeing our hair and said it looked awful and said it was dreadful.
We dread looking at your hair.
But the actual truth, there is a Rastafarian renegade soldier whose last name was Dread that conquered half the world before biblical time. And when they seen him coming, him and his people, they slayed everybody.
Dread.
Dread. So it actually has a biblical, powerful meaning, but we've taken it and made it something bad, just like the word.
Like we do everything.
Yeah.
So, myth dispelled by Mr. Baptise.
Yes.
Dread is not a negative connotation.
No.
And dread does not come from European descent. It comes from African descent.
Culture.
African descent.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome knowledge. Spit that. Okay. So, let me see what else. What else is a myth that drives me crazy? Oh, rice water. Now, they're saying, and I asked another guest this, but she wasn't in the professional. For us to feed it back and forth is going to be awesome. So, rice water is supposed to strengthen your hair and make it soft and luxurious. Because
what is rice water?
Boil the rice and pour the water off and use it as like a leave-in conditioner or like a conditioner to soften your hair and add protein. Now, I researched this because rice has 5 grams of protein. Now, when you boil it off, we all know that that's over. So I want to know, what in the world?
This is my take on that. Okay, let's talk about rice for one. Because the thing about it is, I don't know if you caught up with this, but a lot of the rice that they're making now is plastic. So it's not even organic.
Wow.
But to metaphor your story, I was an educator in LA, and someone told me that they saw on the internet that you can take a banana, smash the banana up in a bowl, put it on your hair as a mask. Put saran wrap around it, and then go under the dryer as a deep conditioning treatment. Now, it has elements that it works with the same way that rice water
could work. Whoever did it that day on their hair.
But let me make it make common sense. Why not just eat it?
Because it's getting in your bloodstream.
Why
it's
not
gonna
just
have
eat
the
it?
effects.
And everything that you eat comes out through your hair.
That's just
Why
real.
just eat eat the rice.
Right.
Eat the rice, anime.
Eat the rice, anime.
Why
Eat
not
the
just
banana,
anime? We go on the internet and we lose all common sense.
Yeah.
We lose all common sense.
Yeah.
Just eat the rice. If rice has beneficial elements for your hair, start eating rice. But you ain't gotta drain it on ice.
Don't drain it. So, say the parts you said again about the common sense. What did you say about the common sense?
Use common sense when you're watching videos.
Yes.
On YouTube.
Use common sense when you're watching videos on social media. But if you don't, we will be here to dispel the myths about the things that are uncommon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Hair Oracle. Like us and follow us on all of our our social media. Back in a minute, guys. Stay connected.